Hi everyone, my name is Az and I'm Technical Evangelist at Microsoft Australia. I have more than 10 years experience in developing softwares. Before I joined Microsoft, I was mainly working with content management systems like Sitecore and Umbraco. I am co-organizer of Sydney Sitecore user group and Gears Geek Sydney. In the photo, you can see my dog Cookie. He is an escape artist and #1 troublemaker. You can follow me on Twitter, or alternatively, for cuter content, you can follow my dog on Instagram. No need to say he has more followers than me. Today, I'm going to talk about chatbots and explain what are they and why they are important right now. Then I show you how you can build a chatbot by using Microsoft Bot Framework. Later, I demo you a basic chatbot called Pishy the Catbot, and I explain that how I built it with Microsoft Bot Framework and how I integrated it with Louis Q&A Maker and few other cognitive services. How many of you have been involved in building a chatbot? All right, okay. It's an introduction to chatbots, and I hope after this talk you can build your own. We all heard about bots, but what are they? A bot is an application that performs tasks. Basically, any software that runs automated tasks over the internet, it's a bot. For example, search engines are using bots to crawl the web pages to index them. Chatbots are application or web service that can have a conversation with user to perform predefined tasks. Chatbots can sit on messaging platforms like Facebook Messengers, Slack, Skype, and many others. Chatbots are not new. A very first chatbot called Eliza has been built in 1964 to 1966 by Joseph Weizenbaum at MIT AI Lab. Eliza wasn't a normal chatbot. It was a smart chatbot. It was one of the first program which passed the Turing test. Alan Turing in 1950 introduced a test to examine machines' ability to show intelligent behavior equal or indistinguishable from human. He proposed a test that human evaluator can have a text-only conversation with two participants. One is human and another one is machine that can generate human-like responses. All of the participants in a test are separated from each other, and the evaluator knows that one of the partners is a software or program. If the evaluator cannot easily distinguish or differentiate human from the machine, we can say that machine or program passed the test. Another good example of chatbot that we all remember is Mr. Clippy. Mr. Clippy was the office assistant that you could ask for help in the conversational manner. Time flies, but Mr. Clippy got introduced to us in Office 1997, almost 20 years ago. If your friend is not right in front of you, the most cost-effective way of communicating with your friend is sending text over the internet and using messaging apps. Some of you might remember the dark ages of calling our friends over the landline and the pain of organizing simple stuff like movie night out. It was a nightmare project. But nowadays, it's really easy. With using messaging apps, you can create a group conversation, add your friends there, and ask who is in, and find a date and time that works for everyone. It's really convenient. Now, chatbots can come into play. They can help you with finding the movie in the cinema close to you. They can help you with booking tickets for your friends and yourself. They can recommend you a restaurant that you can go and have a dinner before, after the movies. Using chatbots, it's really easy. You don't need to learn them because you already know how you can have a conversation. But in comparison, mobile apps depends on the UX creativity you have, and you have to go figure the application. Chatbots are always available. But mobile apps, it's different. you need to download the application, and the application will take the memory storage of your phone. But Chatbot is always available, so you don't need to worry about it. I'd like to do a quick experiment. How many of you have installed a new mobile application on your phone today? Okay, few. How about during last week? All right, okay. How many of you have used a messaging app today, like Facebook, Skype, Slack, Telegram, WhatsApp? How about during last week? Okay, almost everyone. Have you read the news about a smart girl who made a fortune by selling cookies in front of Portland Pot Shop? In my opinion, it's inspiring and educational piece of news. It says, be where your customers are. Recent data shows we have spent more time on messaging apps than any other apps. And it shows the market for chatbots. Chatbots are sitting on messaging apps, and people are using it. So you can see the mind of the smart girl. Chatbots are really easy to build. Also, it's even easier to maintain it. If you fix a bug in Chatbot or add a new feature to your Chatbot code and deploy it, all of users start using it without noticing it. But in comparison, mobile apps, if you fix something or add new feature and deploy it, it's a new version, and you have to wait for your user to update their application. And sometimes you might find in a situation that you are maintaining different version of your application. Now we all know what chatbots are. Let's see how we can build it. Building a chatbot, it's really easy, and we can build it by Microsoft Bot Framework. Microsoft Bot Framework provides a platform for building, testing, and connecting chatbots. It contains Bot Builder SDK that helps to build a chatbot that can support different type of interaction with user. SDK comes in .NET and Node.js. If you are using any programming language other than those two, you can still use Bot Builder REST API. Bot Framework Emulator, it's a desktop application that helps you to test your chatbot locally or remotely. Bot Connector provides a single REST API that enables your chatbot to communicate across multiple channels. And Developer Portal is a place that you go and you register your bot and connect it to the different channels or messaging apps. Before I go any further, I'd like to show you how easy it is to build a chatbot. To build a chat, I used to build it in .NET, but it's even easier if you want to build it in Node.js. For .NET user, you need to download bot application project template and put it under your Visual Studio project templates. And after doing that, I have to press escape. Okay. After doing that, when you create file, new project, you can see the bot application appears here. To save some time, I don't create it. I already created, but I haven't changed anything, so it's exactly same as what you get when you press OK. As you can see, can you see it okay? Yeah, it's equal size? All right. As you can see, it's nothing more than a web API application. And let's see how easy it is to test it with Bot Emulator. By default, when you use bot application and create your chatbot, it has an EchoBot. It's a fully functional chatbot that you can use. And I would say instead of EchoBot, it's a parrot chatbot. So basically, it says what you said to it. Nothing very fancy, but it does the job. So when I run it, it hosted on iOS Express. Oh, wrong project. It happens when you have two instances of Visual Studio. All right. Okay. So it opens the, what is going on? Am I looking at, all right. Okay, let me close the other one. Oh, I definitely have. These are some stuff that you haven't planned, but it happens. Okay, I create a new one. So if I go to Visual Studio, new project, and I create bot application, application 3, okay. Okay, I wanted to save that time, but so as you can see, Bot Emulator is an application that it gets the endpoint and it connects to that endpoint. My recommendation to you is when you create your chatbot for the first time, make sure that you update your bot framework NuGet package to get the latest version. But at the moment, I don't need it, so it's only for demo. Come on, computer. Yeah. This morning we had a little bit difficulty because I found out we don't have internet connection here. So I had to run the other sample that I wanted to show locally. So that's why you will keep getting the PC. Okay. All right, you can try it at home. It works. It was working before perfectly, and all right. What do you see now? Okay. It works the whole computer. Okay. All right. Okay. Imagine that you saw the sample. It was nothing. No. Chatbots are more than a text interface. Sometimes it's quicker to click on a button rather than typing a comment. Or sometimes it's easier to get the concept by looking at the photo instead of reading the description of the photo. The object that passes information back and forth between the chatbot and user called activity. The information that activity object passes can be an event or message. An event is an information like user added the chatbot to the group conversation. And a message Can be text or richer content like image, audio, video, or can be something channel specific like sending a sticker in Telegram. Or it can be rich card. Rich card is a piece of information that can have text, image, and buttons, and it comes with the different templates. These are the famous templates that you can, rich card templates that you can build with Microsoft Bot Framework. Imagine that you want to book a table at a restaurant. If you want to do it online, you go to the restaurant website, you check the availability, and then you fill the booking form by providing your contact details, and you submit the form. It's exactly the same concept in Chatbots. In Chatbots, to do the process, we are using dialogue. To manage the conversation flow, we are using dialogue. A dialogue can encapsulate its own state, and it can be reused in different conversations. When a dialogue is invoked, it takes control of the conversation flow, and all of the new messages will be processed by that dialogue until it closes or redirects to the new dialogue. Let's see how a typical chatbot that has been built by Microsoft Bot Framework looks like. As you saw earlier in my failure test, your code will be inside the web service, and it will be integrated with Bot Builder SDK. Similar to any normal web API, you can connect to databases, third-party APIs, and do your functional code. Bot Builder SDK facilitates and has some built-in functionality that you can connect to few Microsoft Cognitive Services like Luis, Q&A Maker, and you can do the API call to any of them. When user sends a message to Chatbot, first it goes to the bot connector, and bot connector bind that model to activity object and send it to the web service. And when you want to respond back, it's exactly the same. The message goes to the bot connector, and bot connector sends it to the channel. What I'm trying to say is bot connector acts as a proxy, and all of the messaging about handling different channels and different schema, providing different schema to communicate with different messaging apps is handled in bot connector service. And you don't need to worry. You don't need to have any if-then condition in your code and say, if the message is coming from Skype, do that, or read the data or parse data like that. Now we all know what chatbots are and how we can build them easily. I'd like to introduce you to Pishi the catbot. Pishi in Persian means kitty. And if you have Skype installed on your computer, on your phone, you can use this bit.ly link to test the chatbot with me. I use this example as simple as possible to show you how easy it is to build a chatbot and use some of AI functionality without knowing machine learning or without being a data scientist. How many of you have cats? Pet cat? All right, okay, few. Sometimes you don't know what you get when you pet a cat. You don't know if you get a happy face or a grumpy face. I thought that it would be a good idea to create a virtual cat that it's actually predictable. If you say something positive to cat, it says meow. If you say something negative to us, it says hiss. All right. It sounds silly, but I show you. So if I say you're so cute, I will get, and if I say naughty cat, I will get, all right. I use sentiment analysis API to figure out that if the statement or if the comment that user provides to chatbot is positive or it's negative. This API provides a score. The score returns a number between 0 and 1. The score close to 1, it means that it's a positive comment, and the score close to 0, it means that it's a negative comment. All right. I'm not going to show you how you can call REST API in C# or because I know that you all know. And the only thing that I wanted to show you, it's really easy to create something that simple and use it for funny or silly stuff. So I use sentiment score, and it said that if it's greater or equal to 0.5, return Mia, otherwise return the opposite reply. Okay, let's test it. Hopefully it works. Okay. I get the message back, but I didn't. Can you see my screen now? So when I say, you are cute, I get Mia. Okay, I was quicker than Chatbot, all right. Oops. All right. Let me close this. Yeah. All right. But what about cat word? You know, in cat word, there are some stuff that are absolutely positive, but in my mind, if I have a mouse in my house, I don't like it. But I think that in cat's mind, it's absolutely heaven. So I wanted to make sure that if someone wants to play with the cat or offer a food or treat to the cat or greet the cat, I return a relevant response. And if they say it in a negative way, I return again a relevant message with, so same concept of Mio and his, but this time I want to understand the intention of the comment. So how do you do that? I use Luis Language Understanding Intelligence Service to extract the intention or understand the intention of the comment. Luis provides an AI tool that you can define your model and you can train. After doing that, it provides you an API that you can call, and it returns back the most possible intent. I explained that what these three means. These three are the core concept of Luis. You have intent, utterance, and entity. Imagine that you want to offer food to Kitty. The intention is offering food or food motivation. The utterance is the few samples that you provide to Luis as a sample that if user says similar to these sentences, it means that food offering, like, do you want a treat? I cooked lasagna for you. You know, I talk like that with my cat, with my dog, but, or, you know, I brought you food and it's dinner time and similar stuff. So these are the utterance that if you say to Chatbot, means that you want to offer food. Entity is the information that you want to extract from that intent. For example, I'm not using it in the sample, but imagine that my cat was picky and didn't like seafood. So if the food, that the offered food, it would be entity. So if I say, I cooked lasagna for you, lasagna is the food entity. Or if I say, I brought fish and chips for you, fish and chips, it would be the entity. The better example that works better in a real world is you call a flight center and you say that I want to book a flight from Sydney to Melbourne. The intention is booking the flight. Sydney and Melbourne is the entity that you need. All right, so if I say fetch yarn ball, I get this message. If I say do you want food, I get different message. If I say fetch yarn ball ugly cat, intention still is playing with the cat, but it's in an insulting way, so I return a very meaningful message. Or if you say, do you want lasagna fatty cat? And then I return a relevant message. All right. Okay, I forgot to, okay, can you see? All right. To be honest with you, I haven't tried any of these utterances, so I'm trying with you. It's a very bold move while I'm doing it. So I didn't define all of these utterances. Basically, the AI returns back the message, and sometimes it's not 100% accurate. So you can easily train it. The cool thing about Luis is if it doesn't understand the intent or it doesn't understand the entity, it asks you to label it, and it has active learning in it. All right, to show code, it might take a little while because I closed the solution, so hopefully it works. Still it loads, we can try something else. We can say lunchtime, or all right. Is it a good size? People at back, can you see it, or do you want me to make it bigger? All right. As I explained earlier, Bot Builder SDK provides some functionality that you can easily use and integrate your code with Luis. All I need to do is, when I define my dialog, I inherit my dialog from Luis dialog. And I need to provide my model ID and my subscription key. And that's it. And then all I need to do is define the task that it needs to be run if Luis finds the intent. For example, for the food motivation, if the intent is food motivation, the dialog runs food motivation. And I wanted to make sure that, you know, I'm at least 50% sure that user wants to play with the cat. So I check the score. If it's greater than 0.5, I call food motivation dialog. Otherwise, I return the generic answer, which is I like you, Hisan, meow, meow. If I go to food motivation dialog, you can see I called cat food reply. It's really basic. I again check the sentiment of the statement, so I know it's playing, but I don't know that if it's insulting comment or it's a negative comment or it's a positive comment. And I provide two different type of set of answer response, and based on the sentiment, I return the happy or upset reply. Okay. But what about cat word? Wouldn't it be cool that you could ask cat-related question from your cat, like, what's the best pet insurance? Now, I'm saying that, you know, like, how many bones a cat has. For creating a knowledge base, I use Q&A Maker. Q&A Maker is a cool tool to create a database with question and answers. Basically, what you need to do is providing a link to FAQ page or a text file that has question and answers. And Luis extract all of the pair of question and answers and index them. Q&A Maker. Q&A Maker uses fuzzy logic to returns back the best match of the question. Also, it provides a very nice GUI so you can add, after extracting the question and answer pairs, you can add extra question that you want, or you can add utterance to the questions. For example, you can say, if user asks this question or that, they're all the same question, and return that response. Another cool thing about Q&A Maker, it has active learning as well, and you can train it. It has a built-in chatbot that connects to your knowledge base, And when you ask question, it returns back the best match and say, okay, but if it's not sure, it returns top 3 question and answer, and you can select and you can train it. So if I say, how many rows of whiskers does a cat have? Does anyone know the answer? No? Okay. It's 24. All right, so let's see how it looks. Exactly similar to Luis, you can create your dialogue and you can inherit it from Q&A Maker dialogue. And based on that, it returns the best question and answer. I wanted to show you, so for my sample, I wanted to not only show the answer, I wanted to show the question as well, to see that you don't need to type exact question and it always returns the best possible match. So I asked how many bones a cat so I should have asked how many bones does a cat have, but still find it out. Or what's the best diet for indoor cat? I don't expect him to answer back lasagna, but you get the. So I show you quickly. So this is my Q&A tool. These are my pair of question and answer. I can easily add a new question and answer. So the test part that I was trying to explain is this one. So if I type, what's the best diet? If I can type. So it returns the answer that matches with the question, but it adds, it suggests few other options. It's like, okay, these are close. Are you happy with the answer, or do you want to change it and answer, select the other one? And then you can save and retrain the database. All right. How many of you English is not their first language? All right. I don't know that if you are like me or not, but when I'm sick or when I'm not feeling well, my brain is not as functional and I cannot speak English properly. And surprisingly enough, my dog understands it. So if I speak in Farsi with my dog, he gets it. So he gets the comment, doesn't matter, if it's English or if it's in Farsi, especially when it's food involved in it. I thought it would be cool that the virtual cat would be the same. So to make some room, I just collapsed the Luis and reply logic. And basically, when user sends a message, I try to detect the language of the comment. And after that, if it's not English, I store it that language as user preference. And I translate it to English and send it to Luis. After sending it to Luis, so we find the intent, and I provide the proper response. And before sending it to user, I translate it to user preferred language. For doing that, I use Translator API, one of the APIs from Microsoft Cognitive Services, to detect the language and to translate it between different languages. For example, if I say to my cat, خوردنی میخوای گربه جان, it means that would you like food, dear kitty? I will get, I heard food and I get meow. So you get the meow, so I say it's positive. So if I say گربه زشت غذا میخوای, means ugly cat, do you want food? I get the his message. All right, so let's try it with other language, because I think that there are only few here that understand Persian. So we tried it with German. I tried that one, so it works. So So if I say, get the yarn ball, good cat, and I post it to so I get the message. If I say it in German, I'm not even trying to read it. I have no idea. But I trust Google Translate. Yeah. It didn't like it. So how about trying? All right. Let's try my luck with different language. But still it returns it in the language that you provided. So the Lewis training bit, it's not the best. So I have to train it better. Yeah, all right. Okay, doesn't like it. Anyway, it's kind of like, today is not my day. Wouldn't it be cool that the virtual cat says its opinion about your cat? If there was a dog bot, I definitely wanted to know that what it thinks about my dog. And I thought it would be really good to ask Chatbot opinion about the cat photos or your cat photo. So I thought that this time, instead of having just a question, instead of just a statement and response, this time we have a proper conversation. And in a proper conversation, the user would say, rate my cat. Chatbot would say, upload your photo, and it returns back, and user upload photo, and cat responds back, about what it thinks about the cat photo. And because I don't want to upset anyone, and I think cats are really cute, as soon as I see cat photo in the uploaded photo, I will return 11 out of 10, which is really cool. But if I don't see any cat, I will say, sorry, I don't see any cat, and I will explain that what I see in the photo. And we asked user if they want to rate another photo or they want to finish. If they decide to finish the dialogue, we close the dialogue and we go back to our Mew and his mode. For doing that, I use computer vision to figure out what's inside the photo and find the description of the photo. So if I say rate my cat, it says please upload the photo. Okay, because the Chatbot wasn't nice to me today, I try with my dog photo. Let's see what it thinks. So I got acknowledged that I got the photo, and it says, it's not a cat, I'm 92% sure I see a large brown dog lying on a green grass. And it's asked that, do you want to check another photo? And we say yes. So let's this time upload photo of the grumpy cat. So I got acknowledgement about, and say it's a pretty kitty, 11 out of 10. Code-wise, it's really easy, so it's nothing very special to show you. So in a root dialog, if I go to rate my cat, so as soon as Luis figured out the intent is rate my cat, it runs this task. And if I'm more than around 40% sure that a user wants to rate the cat, I go and start rate my cat dialog. And in rate my cat dialog, I get the message from user, and I ask that, would you like to check another photo or not after it finishes? So it's pretty basic. It's nothing very special in it. Half of the fun of having cats, it's seeing their cute poses. And I thought that it would be really cool that you ask the chatbot to show cat photos. This time, if the user asks show cat photos, I go and start the dialogue by asking user what type of the category of photos do you want to see. And you know what? When you go to your grandma's parent and they bring the photo albums, and then you can say, okay, show me my dad when he was 10 or when he was teenager. So they have bigger different categories. So now with the chatbot, it's exactly the same. So it asks for the category, and if I say space cats, you see for cats in space. It's a thing. So if I say show cat photos, it asks me to, okay, which category of cats? The space one is really cute, so I will go with space. As you can see, this time instead of typing, I show buttons, so user can click on buttons. And yes, so you get photos of cats in space. They are really cute, isn't it? And as you can see, this hero card, it's called, this rich card called carousel. So in a carousel, you can have photo and you can have button, and it has a conversation. So do you want to see more? If I say yes, it doesn't again ask for the category because it's already know the category. And if I say yes, it will show extra set of cats in space. Some of them are really cute, some of them not so cute, but as you saw, my chatbot is connected to few cognitive services like computer vision, sentiment analysis, translation, Q&A maker, and Luis. And I use the cat API for showing the photos. Now I want to add my chatbot to different messaging apps like Skype and Slack. The only thing that you need to do is you go to the developer portal and you click Add Channel, and you follow the instruction that the portal provides. It's that easy. You don't need to do anything. And if you want to, in future, if your marketing managers or programming manager, they decide to open your chatbot to the new messaging apps, you can do it. You don't need to change any code or any setting. It's magic. When I want to do an experiment, I want to know that how much does it cost me. Maybe because I'm from developing country and I don't trust to provide my credit card. For this experiment that I did, I only needed to host my chatbot on Azure. And because I didn't have MSN subscription, which you can get and you can have $200 credit, I didn't have it, so I went with the pay-as-you-go option. And for a month, it cost me around 2 coffees. When I shared this news with my friend, he said to me that if I was going with serverless option, it was even cost me less, around half a coffee. And I thought that, okay, so next time I evolve the chatbot. And next time if you attend the presentation, it will all be serverless. Another cool chatbot that I'll recommend you to have a look and be inspired with is Hippa, that means hipster catbot. Mika suggests and recommends hipster pubs and places close to you. Candy Escape, it's an addictive game, and all of a sudden you get a message that you wake up in a jail and you have no idea why, but this is a clue and you can escape from it. It's really addictive. As an experiment, I spent 4 hours on it or more. Your Face is a chatbot that it gives its opinion about your face, and it tries to estimate your age. Don't try it with your partner, especially if you are new together. If you want to do it, smile, because when you smile, machine thinks you are younger. So you saw that how easy it is to build chatbots, and it's even easier to maintain it. So it doesn't cost fortune to build and maintain a chatbot. Your chatbot is available when your chosen messaging app is available. For example, if you create a chatbot and add it to Skype, on any device, on any platform operating system that Skype works, your chatbot works. So you don't need to worry about managing or handling different operating systems, different devices, different screen sizes. It's all handled for you. Because Chatbot, it's a web service, you can easily scale it up or you can easily scale it out. If you have an existing application or existing website, think about it and see that if it's possible to add Chatbot as an extension to your ecosystem to maximize your exposure. If you are thinking to write a new mobile application, think and see that if you can turn it to Chatbot instead. I'm not trying to say that Chatbot is solution to everything, which is not. Chatbot is really great for providing information. It's really good fit for help desk, claiming processes, wherever that you need to provide information, Chatbots can help. If you want to start and build your chatbot, these are the links that you need to go and check. The last line is the code for the PCBot. And yeah, if I were you, I would definitely take a photo of this slide. I'd like to thank you all by listening to this presentation, and you just watched 65 slides. Everyone said that it's impossible to deliver 65 slides in one presentation, but I accepted that challenge and said it's easier to deliver the message.
Awesome. Can we get a round of applause for Azadeh?